welcome to Love and Life's Journey. I'm Chantel and I'm really excited for today's video. But first, if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Consider sticking around by hitting that subscribe button and also the bell when it appears so that YouTube will notify you when I upload new videos. So today's video is another really easy spring DIY video, and the projects in this video are great because not only are they great for spring, they're also great for St. Patrick's Day because they have a lot of green in them, but they're not specifically St. Patrick's, so you can just transition them right into spring. You can add some spring color or florals to them and it will just transition right into spring and Easter perfectly. So I'm really excited to show these to you, so let's just jump right in and get started.
The first project is this cute little topiary, and you can make this in any size that you want. Mine is a smaller one, but you can use the same technique and just buy larger supplies to make one in a larger size if you'd like. The supplies that I used for this is one of these plastic pots, and they come in a 4-pack from Dollar Tree. And I picked up one of these globe balls in the toy section. I got this green forest moss from Walmart because my Dollar Tree didn't have the green moss and I specifically wanted green. This was about $3, I believe. And then from Walmart I also picked up these paper twist wires, and it was 88 cents for this package. I'll be using some chalk paint that I had on hand in the color Ivory and Truffle. I needed some foam, so I'm actually using the foam out of these little succulent pots that I pulled the succulents out for another project, and so I'm just going to use this foam to repurpose it. But if you don't have any foam, then you can pick up the blocks of foam at Dollar Tree and use that. The supplies I'll be using are my hot glue gun and glue sticks, scissors, and a paintbrush. I'm going to start by just taking the ivory chalk paint and painting my pot with that, and I'll be painting all of the outside and then down about 1.5 inches or so on the inside of the pot as well. And I did have to do 2 coats of paint on this pot. While my paint is drying, I'm going to take the ball, and I found it was easiest to put it in a box and then take my moss and put that in the box as well, and it just kind of kept the mess contained and was easier to work with. Then I'm taking my hot glue gun, and in small sections I'm just going to add some hot glue and then take some moss and glue it to the ball. And I'm just going to go all the way around the ball, adding some glue and then moss. You will want to be careful because the hot glue does kind of come through the moss and it's easy to burn your fingers if you're not careful. Once I have the ball covered in moss, then I'm just going to press it all together and compact it and make sure everything's glued down, and then trim off any moss that's kind of sticking out. Next I'm going to take my truffle chalk paint and I'm going to dry brush a little bit of it onto the pot to make it look aged and give it some dimension. And I do this by just dipping my brush in the paint, just get a little bit of paint on it and then wipe the excess off on a paper towel. And then I'm just going to take the brush and lightly brush it over the pot. There is a little raised design on this pot which really looks nice once you do this because the dark paint sticks to that raised design and kind of brings it out. But then I just do a little bit lightly over the whole pot just to give it that aged look. Next I'm going to add the foam to my pot, And so I'm just removing it from my little containers, but if you have the block of foam, you can just cut a piece to fit. Once my foam is added, then I need to make the stem or the trunk of my topiary, and that's what I'm going to use these paper twist wires for. I'm using 2 of these wires for the stem. First step is just to figure out how tall you want your topiary to be, and so I'm just going to kind of figure that out and then trim off the wires using some wire cutters, and make sure you leave enough to poke down into the foam and then also up into the topiary ball. Then I'm just going to twist 2 of the wires together. Then I'm going to take my topiary ball and I'm just going to use a pencil to kind of poke a hole just to get it started in the ball. And so I'm just figuring out where I want that, and then just poke it in a little bit, and that will help me get those wires started. And then I'm going to poke the other end down into the foam in the pot, and then I will secure both ends using some hot glue. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of Spanish moss and put that in the pot to cover up the foam, and then it's all done. The next project is this really easy faux succulent terrarium, and everything it's made with is from the Dollar Tree. For this, I picked up one of these plastic hanging terrariums, one of these bags of stones. I also had some reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree on hand, and this is the lighter colored moss, and I like the texture of this, so that's why I'm using it. And then I'm going to be using 2 of these faux succulents. These are the smaller ones that come in the pots. And then also some jute twine. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some of my stones, and I'm just going to pick out some of the ones that I wanted to use. I want the smaller stones and more of the lighter browns and less of the black stones. So I just picked out what I thought looked nice. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the reindeer moss, and I'm just going to put a couple little bunches in on top of the stones. Then I'm going to remove the succulents from the little pots, and they just pull right out of the styrofoam. Then take some wire cutters and trim off the stem. And then I'm just going to set these in there. I don't even glue them in. I just set them in and kind of nestle them down into the moss. And since I'm not planning on hanging mine, I'm going to do a little bit of an embellishment on the top hanger part. You could still do this even if you were going to hang it, but I'm just taking some jute twine and I'm going to glue the end to the base of that hanger at the top, and then I'm just going to wrap it around, and I'm going to wrap it around a few times on that base, and then I'm going to go around the loop on the top. And this does take a little bit of time. You have to thread it through each time, so you can't leave the twine on the spool. You'll have to cut off a piece of twine so that you can thread it through. But I really like the look of how it turns out once you're finished. Once I'm finished wrapping it, I'm just going to secure the end with a little bit of hot glue and trim it off. The last project is just showing you how you can put a few items together to make these really pretty candles to use in a centerpiece. So for these, I'm just going to take any kind of vase or glass container, whatever size or shape that you want to use. And then I am just adding some split peas that I got in a bulk food section at our local grocery store. And I'm just pouring those into my vase. These are really inexpensive. I think these were 67 cents a pound at my store. Then I'm just going to take a candle that I picked up at Dollar Tree and just press that down into those peas a little bit, and that's all there is to it. Then I'm just going to repeat this process for my taller hurricane vase. I love how these items look grouped together. I used my little tray that I got from Target for $5. I added some moss in the bottom of the tray, added this cute little sign that says family is life's greatest blessing, and this little ceramic bird that I also got at Target for $1, and I just love how it looks. And if I want to, I can add a couple of these cute little foam shamrocks from Dollar Tree. They come in a package of 12 for $1, and I'm just going to take one of each color and add it to my tray just from now until St. Patrick's, and then I can take them out and just transition this tray right into spring. Well, I hope that I've inspired you to make some green spring decor that you can also use for St. Patrick's and then transition into spring and Easter. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell when it appears so that you'll be notified when I upload new videos to YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and God bless.